So you'll have a group of women, and most women can relate when it comes to relationship issues. And so a lot of times what women usually do will get together and talk about their boyfriends or their husbands, their work, their children. And I believe that in all cultures, women will have similar issues when it comes to relationships. But I have talked a lot about the gay community, so I'm kind of mixing this in. It's not just gay, lesbian, and it's not just gay community alone. And this is not to make people look bad, but there's been a lot of lying going on. And right now, how would you say this? The churches are kind of pumping up heterosexualism, and what they're doing is they're trying to marry as many hetero couples as possible because of the gay agenda, quote unquote, or at least that's what they would attribute it to be. And so you'll have women that oftentimes will do all kinds of things to, I guess, get in relationships with individuals. And I don't know if you've ever heard this thing, the biological clock is ticking. You need to get married and have a family, have babies, and have a wonderful family. And some people want to do that. And a lot of times they feel like they have to jump through a lot of hoops to get involved with someone. And it takes a lot of time. And in black communities, you'll have women who are stressed, some, about that whole issue because you not only have to compete with other black women and now with white women and all these other women and ambiguous women or women who look like they're another culture but they may have some black in them, quote unquote. You have gay men that are out there that are, you know, a competition as well. And so in California, West Hollywood is like the gay and lesbian um, arena or scene. And I find it commendable when people are honest about who they are and they're not afraid to share who they are. But I believe the reason why some people don't say who they are is because of fear of backlash or maybe religious hate, or maybe they've had like family members that have treated them wrong, or friends, or they've heard talk about how people want to hurt or harm gay and lesbian people, so they don't come out easy. But then you have people who they're straight and they want to have a relationship, they want to be married, but there's many issues with this. So if you come from, it could be a lot of different issues with it. So if you come from a background or a culture where in your neighborhood or in your vicinity, um, the selection of mates is not that good because of maybe a low income socio-economical class, where you have some people who they don't want to work, they don't want to have a good life and have a happy family. they they come from a bad family background themselves. You won't have the perfect husband and wife and children and the perfect scenario that you see here of people coming together and uniting and being married and being a family and being productive. And oftentimes you'll find some women who go to church, they pray and they read the Bible and they're hoping that they meet a decent man out of the church. But as I've said in other videos, and there's been other videos out there that have talked about some of the tragedies and some of the scandals that have happened in churches. So you feel now like you can't really trust anywhere because the selection of men that maybe in some people's neighborhoods could be gangs, um, guys who, they wear their pants down to their kneecaps, men who have baby mama drama, or they're overly aggressive, abusive to women. They don't view women as they are, as being human. They look at you as more like, they could look at you as a sex toy. something to play with and put on the shelf when they get tired, or throw you out and then get the next woman. There's a lot of infidelity in certain groups of individuals, because they were taught as they were young that it was okay to abuse women, to hit women, to be abusive to your wife, keep her in line, and to keep your kids in line, and to use force, brute force. So there's not much of a selection, and so there's this hurried attitude in these churches now because of the marriage equality. And now I was reading something where it said that you can't discriminate, and there are certain cities, certain countries, or certain cities rather, in the U.S., certain states in the U.S., that you can't discriminate in the workplace and have workplace biases towards people that are LGBTQ people. And so you have, like, you know, TV personalities, or reality people, or people who want to build fame by proclaiming they're not gay, that they're ungay, or they were gay, and then that doesn't sit well with people, so that brings on a lot of more distrust. And there's men that have baby mama drama, and we just went over that. They might have previous relationships that haven't been any closure. There may be a child support issue going on. There's lots of things before you get in relationships with individuals. You marry into a family, not just that one individual you're married to, but you're married into that family, and you discover, oh my God, his mother is just so condescending, or his family or her family is just so you know frustrating, annoying, and I didn't know they were like this. And then you've got men who won't admit that they're gay, and so they marry women, and they don't tell their true sexual preferences, and they say they're going on a business meeting, they're going on a business trip, or they're hanging out with their boys, and they're out doing things like this. And the woman, she may not even realize what's going on, and he feels that he was forced into the marriage because he's trying to hide who he really is, because his family won't approve of him being gay. um, he comes from a long strict religious background, and it could be the same, it could go the other way with if you flipped it around, if it were a woman. So, but right now we're concentrating on what some challenges that women will experience, and that might also shed some light as to why you'll find some women that choose to be single, or they choose to be celibate, or they choose to not really have any partners or get involved in relationships, because there's a lot of distrust and dishonesty out there. So this is what's happening in America. So it's not so much that people are pushing specific agendas. They may be, but they may be doing it because they're trying to protect themselves from some of the things that they believe in, that they want to support, and they want support of. So it could go either ways. People who are religious and who desire to remain religious don't want religion just totally thrown out. Some people have even taken it upon themselves to go to places that are more friendly and inclusive of other people for different reasons, such as this. So you'll see a lot of videos posted of women fighting each other over boyfriends and husbands and what have you, and significant others. And so it's frustrating when you're trying to follow everything, and maybe you've gone to school, you have done all the right things, and maybe you are religious or you're not religious, but you're a good person, and you're a good person at heart, but you've been from relationship to relationship, and it's always blamed on you. But if it isn't a gangbanger, he's a wife beater. If he isn't a gangbanger and a wife beater, he's gay, and he's not telling the truth about his sexual preferences. Or he's a gigolo, he's got a bunch of girlfriends all over from globe to globe, and he's the Mac Daddy or the player or the pimp wannabe. So You have also this thing of hypermasculinity and machoism that is pushed. And I feel that's an agenda of patriarchy and male egos, that you'll have men that'll post um, uh, photos, even in Craigslist, about how big their penis is. And they always, almost often, will post comments on underneath women's videos. And you'll see this a lot where men will come to videos, and it'll be a video, like it could be black women or it could be gay people, and it's a particular group that they dislike or they're trying to bash. They'll go to their blogs, they'll read them so they can post something nasty under it, or they'll respond to every little comment and try to bash that individual for saying something they disagree or disapprove of. And that, I guess that's what you call trolling. But you'll see, like in the West Hollywood area of California, that most of the clubs are filled with men. And so in the crowds of men, I'm sure that some of these men are closeted, or they're men that maybe they don't give off that gay persona, but they might have a girlfriend, or their girlfriends, they might have wives. And just like the Eddie Long incident, where these particular individuals won't disclose their preferences, and they've lied about it for years. And so what is problematic about this is that if a woman is desiring to have a true relationship and you're lying to her, and you're promiscuous and you're not practicing safe sex, you could very well infect her with STDs, or even something more serious, such as HIV and AIDS. And so these are the reasons why you'll find a lot of women will remain single and don't want to get in relationships. It's distrust.